Picture a quaint farm in 1940s America. This is the story of Mike the Headless Chicken, a creature who cheated death and lived to cluck the tail. We've all heard the saying, running around like a chicken with its head cut off. Mike the Headless Chicken threw that saying right out the coop. Our story takes us back to Fruita, Colorado, in the year 1945. Lloyd Olson, a farmer with a penchant for raising chickens, was about to meet his most extraordinary bird yet. On September 10th, Olson chose a plump Wyandotte rooster named Mike for the dinner table. He skillfully swung his axe, aiming for a clean decapitation. But something extraordinary happened. Mike didn't die. The date was September 10th, 1945. Lloyd Olson went about his chores, unaware that he was about to become part of a story far removed from the battlefields and headlines of war. He selected a plump Wyandotte rooster, a fine specimen named Mike. The scene that unfolded next was nothing short of astounding. Mike, instead of falling lifeless, stumbled to his feet. Lloyd Olson stood there, dumbfounded. He watched in astonishment as Mike, his headless rooster, stumbled around the yard, seemingly unaware of his own decapitation. Mike continued to behave as if nothing had happened. Lloyd, initially horrified by what he had done, found himself oddly captivated by Mike's will to live. The news of Mike's survival spread through Fruita like wildfire in a dry cornfield. People couldn't believe it. A chicken living without a head? It seemed impossible. Mike, now christened Miracle Mike by the townsfolk, went about his days in a daze of headless existence. He couldn't see, he couldn't eat or drink normally, but his body, driven by the persistent hum of his partially intact brainstem, continued to function. Lloyd Olson, initially horrified by the whole ordeal, found himself growing attached to the resilient rooster. Word of Mike's survival reached beyond the farms and fields of Fruita, eventually landing on the desk of scientists and researchers across the country. Intrigued and skeptical, they couldn't believe a chicken could live without a head, let alone function relatively normally. As word of Mike's miraculous survival spread, people flocked from miles around to witness this feathered phenomenon with their own eyes. Lloyd Olson, a practical farmer, saw an opportunity in this bizarre situation. With a mixture of curiosity and entrepreneurial spirit, Lloyd packed up Mike and embarked on a cross-country tour. Mike's fame wasn't confined to dusty fairgrounds and makeshift stages. The media, always hungry for a good story, caught wind of this unbelievable chicken, and soon, Mike's picture was splashed across newspapers and magazines nationwide. His story, a captivating blend of the macabre and the miraculous, became a national sensation. Mike's rise to fame wasn't without its skeptics. Many people, upon hearing the tale of a headless chicken living for months on end, cried foul, accusing Lloyd Olson of perpetrating a hoax. Lloyd, however, was unfazed by the doubters. Life on the road with a headless chicken was far from glamorous. Lloyd Olson, thrust into the unexpected role of a sideshow promoter, quickly learned the ropes of traveling showmanship. He and Mike journeyed from town to town, their home a converted bus that doubled as both their living quarters and a makeshift stage for their unusual act. Section 2. Encounters with the Extraordinary. Tales from those who met Mike. The story of Mike the Headless Chicken spread far and wide, attracting not only curious onlookers, but also a cast of colorful characters who crossed paths with the traveling duo. There was the skeptical veterinarian, initially convinced Mike was a hoax, who left astonished, shaking his head in disbelief after examining the remarkable rooster. Then there was the elderly farmer, his weathered hands trembling as he reached out to touch Mike's featherless neck, whispering tales of his own encounters with the unexpected twists of fate on the farm. Children, their eyes wide with wonder, would stare in awe at the headless chicken, their imaginations running wild with stories of magical creatures and impossible feats. Each encounter, each interaction, added another layer to the legend of Mike the Headless Chicken. He wasn't just a sideshow freak, a biological oddity to be gawked at and forgotten. He was a catalyst for conversation, a spark that ignited the imagination, a reminder that even in the most ordinary of existences, the extraordinary could be found in the most unexpected of places. Section 3. More than a sideshow. Mike's impact on those around him. Despite the strangeness of it all, Mike's presence had a profound effect on those who came into contact with him. He challenged their perceptions of life and death, forcing them to confront the fragility of existence and the remarkable resilience of the natural world. For Lloyd Olson, Mike was more than just a source of income. He was a companion, a responsibility, a constant reminder that life was full of surprises. He cared for Mike with a tenderness that belied the bizarre nature of their relationship, feeding him carefully, ensuring his comfort, and protecting him from the prying eyes of a world eager to dissect and explain his existence. Mike's story, a testament to the tenacity of life, resonated with people from all walks of life. He became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, life, in its own peculiar way, could find a way. He was a feathered beacon of resilience in a world hungry for wonder, a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary stories are the ones we least expect. Section 1. The unkindest cut, a life cut short. For 18 glorious, head-scratching months, Mike the Headless Chicken defied the odds. He strutted, he pecked, he posed for photos, all without the benefit of a head. He became a national sensation, a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience in a world still reeling from war. But like all good stories, Mike's had a final chapter. It was March 1947. Mike and Lloyd were on the road, traveling between shows, their usual routine of dazzling audiences and fielding questions. One evening in a motel room in Phoenix, Arizona, a tragedy struck. Mike began to choke, gasping for air, his headless body struggling in a way Lloyd had never witnessed before. Despite Lloyd's frantic efforts to clear Mike's airway, using the familiar eyedropper technique that had kept him alive for so long, he couldn't dislodge whatever was obstructing his makeshift throat. Perhaps a stray piece of corn, perhaps a buildup of mucus, whatever the cause. Mike's luck had finally run out. In a cruel twist of fate, the same resilience that had allowed him to live without a head ultimately led to his demise. News of Mike's passing spread quickly, casting a pall over the nation that had come to embrace his improbable story. People mourned the loss of the Headless Chicken, who had captured their hearts, a symbol of hope extinguished too soon. Back in Fruita, Colorado, the news hit especially hard. Mike, their hometown hero, was gone. The town, once a quiet farming community, had been put on the map by their unlikely celebrity. Mike had brought them fame, fortune, and a healthy dose of pride. He was a reminder that even in the most ordinary of places, the extraordinary could happen. In honor of their feathered friend, the town of Fruita decided to hold an annual Mike the Headless Chicken Day. Every year, on the third weekend in May, people gather from far and wide to celebrate Mike's life and legacy. There are parades, chicken-themed games, and even a running of the Headless Chickens contest. It's a testament to the enduring power of Mike's story, a celebration of the unusual, the improbable, and the sheer joy of a life lived against all odds. Even in death, Mike the Headless Chicken continued to fascinate. Over the years, scientists have studied his preserved remains, eager to unlock the secrets of his improbable survival. How could a creature function, let alone thrive, for 18 months without a head? Advances in our understanding of avian anatomy and neurology have shed light on Mike's miraculous existence. We now know that a chicken's brain is situated differently than a human's. The brainstem, responsible for controlling essential functions like breathing, heart rate, and balance, is located further back in the skull, closer to the spinal cord. Lloyd Olsen's axe, in a stroke of improbable luck, had severed Mike's head above the brainstem, leaving a significant portion of this vital organ intact. This, coupled with the fact that chickens have a remarkable ability to clot blood quickly, allowed Mike to survive the initial trauma of decapitation. His body, driven by the persistent hum of his partially intact brainstem, continued to function, a testament to the incredible resilience of nature. More than 70 years after his untimely demise in that Arizona motel room, Mike the Headless Chicken continues to captivate hearts and minds around the world. His story, a peculiar blend of the macabre and the miraculous, has transcended time and place, becoming a tale whispered in hushed tones, a legend passed down through generations. Why does the story of a headless chicken resonate so deeply with us all these years later? Perhaps it's the sheer improbability of it all. In a world governed by logic and reason, Mike's story throws a wrench into the machinery of our understanding. He reminds us that life, in its infinite complexity, doesn't always play by the rules. Or maybe it's the indomitable spirit Mike embodied. Despite being dealt a seemingly insurmountable blow, he refused to give up. He lived his headless existence with a tenacity that continues to inspire awe and wonder. Mike, in his own quiet, feathery way, reminds us that even in the face of adversity, there's a spark within us that yearns to keep going, to make the most of whatever time we have. Mike the Headless Chicken, a creature of simple origins, inadvertently offered a profound lesson in resilience. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected events can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Even when faced with obstacles, the will to live is powerful. Mike's story reminds us to embrace the unknown and emerge stronger. In dark times, there's always a reason to keep moving forward. Embrace the absurdity and beauty of it all. Mike the Headless Chicken captured the public's imagination. We humans have an insatiable curiosity for the strange and the unexplainable. Mike's tale taps into our fascination with the unknown. He represents the enduring power of mystery. It's a testament to the resilience of life and the allure of the unexplained. Sometimes the most extraordinary stories involve a chicken who lived without a head.